guess I'll address this. And I don't even want to directly address this because I feel bad for what has happened. We're going to talk about something serious. Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys won't know what I'm talking about. And I'm okay with that. I don't care. I don't feel like adding any more attention to it. But a lot of people have asked me my stance on it, so I'm going to go ahead and answer. I pride myself in always answering any question you guys to the best of my ability whenever I can. I value transparency and honesty over absolutely everything. Even when it makes me look bad, I don't care. I try to be as upfront with you guys as I possibly fucking can. And to be honest, it's gotten me in a lot of shit. I don't need to look at any tweet. I don't need to look at anything at all because everything is in my head. I've observed everything, and here's my opinion. There are far too many content creators. One example might be a lot more recent than others, where they will, title of the video, bend the knee to these people, this enraged mob on the internet. And to anybody who's ever experienced this, whether that be a friend group in real life, whether maybe you're a content creator just like me, there are words that I very much try to live by, which is number one, never bend the knee to the mob, and never rationalize people who were not interested in being rational to begin with. These people who have used emotion to put them into a stance that they themselves, one, never researched, two, have no evidence of it being true, and three, are being purely driven by hatred, you're not going to change their mind. And the reason why that is because they didn't use any research, any evidence, any proof to get themselves into that position, to get themselves into that stance. So you providing them evidence, you providing them proof is not going to change their mind because they didn't use that to get there to begin with. So it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. Their stance is going to be whatever they want it to be because they've already made their mind up on you. They didn't need reasoning to get this image of you. They're not going to use reasoning to get that image out of you. Guys, my whole career, I have been called a retard, synonym, idiot, dumb as fuck, and by the same people, I am also called a master manipulator, a gaslighter, and a sociopath. These same people who call me a retard and I shouldn't be listened to also call me a highly intelligent manipulator that's controlling everything behind the scenes. Are you starting to understand? These people didn't use the reasoning to begin with. They're not going to use reasoning to get out of it. I've been called a grifter, an abuser, a rapist, a sexual assaulter, a pedophile. I've been even accused of being an arsonist and a murderer. These people also thought that I raped an anime girl, a character that doesn't exist. And the worst thing is, these people believed it. If you want to see what I'm talking about, and that's the reason why it's the background of my computer, there were people, and this was trending globally on Twitter, where they accused me of sexually assaulting Robin from Honkai Star Rail because she's a lesbian. Nowhere in the game does it say she's lesbian. Nowhere in the game does it say Tectone comes up and fucks Robin. These people don't live in the real world. They live in their mind. Guys, with me, if I've been called something at level 1, they're going to keep escalating and escalating and escalating and escalating. There's only so many times that people can level up their insults. Eventually, it's going to top out. What you've heard about me yesterday, hey, the controversy I had last week, you'll probably hear me have 50 more over the course of my life because people want you to be in their control. And there is nothing more dangerous in this entire world than a man who is confident in the things that he says and a man who is going to tell the truth no matter what. There are far too many content creators who get manipulated and get bullied into supporting the current thing. That is not a world that we should want to live in. It's not. There is no world where you should have to say free Palestine. There is no world where you should say, you have to say fuck ICE. There is no world where you should have to say trans rights. No one should feel like they have to say anything that they don't mean. And the reason why that is because then we're never going to be able to separate who's who. And when everybody is bullied into supporting the current thing, everything becomes illegitimate. It should be a red flag when people hear about this outrage or this issue happening over 3,000 miles, 50,000 miles that way, and without researching, without looking at any evidence, without getting informed at all, they already have an opinion, and that opinion is whatever the popular opinion is. It delegitimizes everything. And if you have a content creator that says free Palestine or fuck Israel, or even the inverse, I love Palestine, fuck Israel, either one, I want you to ask them why. Why do you have the stance that you have? And if you cannot define why you have the stances you have, you're an idiot. And I genuinely believe that. You are a fucking moron if you cannot defend or explain the stances that you have. And if you are so enraged at the thought of having civil discourse over why you feel the way you feel, you're an idiot. Saying you have the popular opinion because that's what everybody else is saying is the biggest litmus test of who is a fucking moron and who's not. One of the things that I like to reference quite often is, whether you like Destiny or whether you don't like Destiny. Listen, I don't really think about him too much, but Destiny did a pretty good job of changing my mind on tariffs with Donald Trump. He's right. I wasn't too informed on the real evidence behind whether it is a good or a bad thing. And I changed my stance. Same thing when I talked to my buddy Zizix. And actually, he made me go from pro-choice to pro-life in terms of abortion. Because there was a side that I wasn't seeing represented. And you should be open to changing your opinion. Being labeled a hypocrite is far too often, when in reality, a hypocrite in my mind is a person in the process of change. It is okay to change your opinion when presented with new ideals. Guys, and here's my stance. All of this is about ICE, and you're positioned on ICE, and every content creator should be against ICE, and you need to say fuck ICE or you're a fucking Nazi. Listen, guys, here's my stance, and you can help me change it if you want. But the reality is, it's not good for illegal immigrants to be in our country, okay? They're raising the price of living for everybody in this fucking country, and it's, it's the least that you can do is to come into this country legally. That's all I'm asking. Do the proper paperwork if you want to come here. The second thing is, illegal immigrants are criminals. They are. They go into this country, they're committing a crime off rip. If you commit a crime, you're a criminal. And people who commit crimes are far more likely to commit other crimes. And I would like to feel safe walking alone at the street at night. I don't want to worry about, am I walking around even more criminals? And in the same vein, there's so many white women, white liberal women with suicidal empathy saying they don't feel safe walking home at night. And in the same vein, they're saying we should allow more fucking child rapists and predators in our fucking country. It makes no sense. Now I understand that has ICE done bad things? Yes, of course. It's a very hard job. It's a very stressful job. There will be bad things that happen, but these are the exception, not the rule. If everything could go perfectly every single fucking time, the world would be a much different place. But the reality is that when people are in high stakes situations, mistakes are gonna happen, and it sucks. And listen, I'm a guy where when Charlie Kirk got fucking assassinated, I got fucked up. I did. When Irina Zarutska got brutally murdered on the fucking subway by a convict who was released 27 times by a corrupt judge, which is far more often than you guys might think. There are so many activist judges. There are so many corrupt counties. Before you judge any court case or any ruling, look into the county, look into the judge. Otherwise, you don't know shit, and that's the truth. I wept for these people while other people laughed and said they deserved it. They were Nazis. When Alex Pretty and Renee got killed by ICE officers, do you think I laughed? Because I said, oh, now you deserve it because that's what you did to us. No, because there's far too much us versus them talk. And hey, to be fair, a lot of it is valid because that is how the country is going. That is how the country is going. It is a lot of us versus them. But if you think that as an American, I'm going to be happy celebrating the fact that more American blood was spilled on American soil, no. And I don't care if they're part of the opposition. I don't care if they were being fucking stupid. I would like to live in peace, and I'm not going to celebrate the death of anybody. I'm just not. I don't care if they're retarded. I don't care if they were asking for it. I consider any death a fucking loss, and that's where I'm at. You as a content creator can have any opinion that you want, but don't be forced in that position to give it. Don't just say the things that you know they want you to say. It creates a very slippery slope. And content creators like Valkyrie are another people who really feed into this shit. I want to remind you guys that Valkyrie apologized for saying no cap on a stack for real. Because that was African American vernacular, and how dare you take our language. Give me a fucking break. Everybody knows that's a fucking joke. Everybody knows that shit was a fucking joke. But I will admit, content creators who give apologies when they did nothing wrong are doing more harm than good. And that's the truth. So if you want to say something, say it. But don't say things just because you feel like that's what you need to say. Now that's just my opinion. I think it's another sad day when another good-hearted content creator gets pushed into a position that they don't even want to talk about. But if this happened once, this will happen a million times. This will not be an oddity. This will be a commonality, which blows. But, yeah. It's a bummer. Never apologize. These people, they don't care about you. They're not going to change their opinion on you. And to be honest, now all these people have done is shown there's blood in the water, and that if they can get them to do it once, they'll get them to do it twice. And that's the truth. Empowering the mob enrages them for their next onslaught on their next victim. Who will it be? I suppose we'll find out. But a lot of these people are scared, and they just want them to stop, and so I understand. But it is an L. Just my opinion. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.